He's counting on you to carry out His purpose so you can go where you've never been. Don't let the difficulty sour your life, take your passion. God won't put you somewhere without the grace to be there with a good attitude. You can be happy even in hard places. When you choose to be content, to stay full of joy, God breathes on your life and He'll make things happen that you couldn't make. We can always find a reason to put off our happiness. When my business grows, then I'll be happy. Or when I lose 10 pounds, when I have a baby, when my health improves. Or maybe if I was married, I'd be happy. Another person, if I wasn't married, I'd be happy. If you're putting conditions on your happiness, you're going to live a lot of your life unhappy because there will always be something you don't like that bothers you, that you wish was different. There are blessings and burdens in every season. There are great things in your life that you could be happy with right now. If you have your health, your family, you have a job, opportunity, and there are things you could be discouraged over. You get to choose what you're going to focus on. If you focus on the burdens, you're going to put off your happiness. I got to fix this problem before I can be happy, or I've got to move into a better house, or I can't be happy with this coworker. He gets on my nerves. And when he leaves, when God moves him out of my life, then I'll be happy. But here's the truth, and I don't want to depress you, but he may never leave. What if some of those burdens never change? Are you going to spend your life unhappy, waiting for people and circumstances to do what you want? Then you'll enjoy your life? It's the wrong way to live. You're putting your happiness in other people's hands. You're letting your joy be dependent on the circumstances. You have to take control of your happiness. You are responsible to keep yourself happy. It's not up to other people. Joel, my spouse, my boss, my neighbor, they're the problem. They aggravate me. They leave me out. You can't control all that. They may not change, but you can change. You can be happy right where you are. You can enjoy your life despite what's not going your way. Paul said in Philippians chapter 4, I have learned how to be content whatever state I'm in, whether I'm abased or abounding. He was saying whether I have a lot or a little, whether people are treating me right or wrong, whether my plans have worked out or they haven't, I'm still going to be happy. I'm still going to keep my joy. His happiness wasn't dependent on his conditions, wasn't dependent on what people said or if they did what he wanted, or if he's in a blooming season, seeing growth and promotion, then he'd be happy. Seasons change. Plans don't always work out. People can let us down, doors can close. A mark of maturity. When Paul wrote this passage, I've learned to be content, he was in a prison cell. He'd been arrested for sharing his faith and was awaiting trial. If anyone had a reason to be discontent, unhappy, at least in the natural, would have been Paul. He was beaten 3 times for teaching about Jesus. He was falsely accused and misunderstood by the believers. They wouldn't accept him. He was opposed by the religious leaders. He'd been shipwrecked and bitten by a poisonous snake. This was all while he was fulfilling his purpose, doing what God called him to do. But his attitude was, these prison walls aren't going to take my joy. These bad breaks are not going to cause me to be sour. I'm not focused on the burdens. I'm focused on the blessings. I'm still alive. I still have a purpose to fulfill. I still am in the palm of God's hand. He couldn't leave the prison. He couldn't go out and share his faith anymore. They thought they had him stopped, but Paul got his pen out and started writing. He wrote much of the New Testament from a prison cell. The enemy thought he was shutting Paul up, but God knows how to take what was meant for harm and use it to your advantage. In that cell, Paul wrote, rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I say rejoice. He wrote, may the God of hope fill you with all joy. He wrote, I think myself happy. He was telling us the location doesn't have to determine your happiness. How you're being treated, what's not working out, that doesn't dictate your joy. You determine your happiness. You can think yourself happy, or you can think yourself depressed. You can think yourself grateful, or you can think yourself sour. When you focus on the blessings and magnify the good things in your life, and thank God for where He's brought you to, His favor, His protection, then you're going to enjoy where you are despite what's coming against you. And after Paul wrote that passage, I've learned to be content, the next verse is the one we quote all the time. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. He wrote it in the context of keeping your joy and staying content when things come against us. How can I be happy in a hard place? Through Christ who gives you strength. How can I enjoy my life, Joel, despite these burdens? Through Christ. How can I keep a good attitude with this cranky coworker? Through Christ. You're not doing it on your own. When you choose to be happy where you are, God will breathe on your life and strengthen you and empower you. See, Paul wasn't happy about being in prison, but he was happy in prison. He didn't let the circumstances stop his happiness. You're not happy about being in the hospital, but you can be happy in the hospital. Just because you're in a difficult place doesn't mean you have to be unhappy. You can count it all joy. You're not happy with that person at work that's trying to make you look bad, but you can be happy despite what they're doing. There is grace for every season. When you're happy in a place where you should be discouraged, you are passing the test, and at the right time, God will vindicate you. He'll promote you. He'll turn it around. But Paul could have thought, man, when I get out of this prison, then I'll be happy. When people stop attacking me, when they understand who I really am, then I'll be in a good mood. No, he said, I'm happy right where I am. I'm going to write some books. I'm going to leave my mark. It's very powerful. She wasn't going to be happy until it worked out her way. She was putting her happiness on hold, basing it on what her husband did. Life is too short to live that way. You can't make people change, and you can't make situations turn around. Pray, believe, do what you can, then leave it in God's hands. Proverbs says, those who trust in the Lord will be happy. When things aren't changing, the only way you're going to be happy is by trusting that God is working, believing that He's fighting your battles and making those crooked places straight, that He's your provider, your healer, your way maker. When you're trusting, you can be happy while you're waiting, knowing that God is in the process of changing things. If you're dealing with an illness, you could be worried, losing sleep. No way I can be content, Joel. You don't know what I'm facing. Try a different approach. Father, thank you that you're my healer, that you're restoring health back into me, that the number of my days you will fulfill. When your trust is in Him, you can be happy while you're waiting. Maybe you have a child off course, or business is struggling, or you're dealing with an addiction. It's easy to put your happiness on hold, live worried, discouraged. The right attitude is, Father, I thank you that you're working behind the scenes, doing things I can't see, that what you have purposed for my life is on the way. Freedom, breakthroughs, the right people, abundance. Declaring the greatness of God and speaking His promises, that's going to build your faith. That's how you can enjoy where you are and not just endure where you are. When you don't have joy, you don't have strength. It's hard to keep a good attitude, hard to believe. But when you're happy where you are, despite what's coming against you, you're going to have the strength you need to stay in faith while you're waiting for things to change. And the truth is, most of our lives, we're waiting for something to get better, waiting for a problem to turn around, or waiting to meet the right person, waiting to advance in our career. If you don't learn to enjoy the waiting seasons, times like with Paul, when you're in the prison, so to speak, then you'll live so much of your life unhappy. And what a tragedy to come to the end of life and realize that we've lived way too long worried, discouraged, offended. Jesus said He came that you might enjoy life. If this is going to happen, you have to put your foot down and say, that's it. I'm going to start being happy where I am. Yes, I have some problems at work, but that's okay. I'm going to be happy today. Yes, I'm dealing with this health issue, but I'm not going to spend another minute worried about it. God, my trust is in you. Or doors haven't opened for my dreams yet. Still haven't met the right person. Still have this legal problem. I'm not putting my happiness on hold. This is the day the Lord has made. I'm going to be happy today. Or focus on the burdens. When I first started pastoring, I had never ministered before, and it was very difficult for me to write a message. I had no experience doing it, and On Wednesdays and Thursdays, I would listen to teaching CDs and read books, and it was like cramming for a test. I felt this pressure to come up with something good for Sundays. I would write my messages on Fridays and Saturdays and deliver it on Sunday. Driving home from church, I'd be so relieved, thank God, and then that thought would come, what are you going to speak on next Sunday? It's 6 days away. I got to where I dreaded Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Every week I thought, oh, here we go again. I was planning on it being hard. I was expecting it to be difficult. And after about 2 years of doing that, it dawned on me that I'm dreading half my week. That means half my year I'm not enjoying. And if I don't make a change, half my life I'm going to be unhappy. I had to do what I'm asking you to do. I put my foot down and said, that's it. No more dreading. God, I trust you to give me the words to speak. You said your yoke is easy, your burden's light. You've given me grace for every season. I'm going to enjoy what you've called me to do. I shifted my mindset from enduring to enjoying. From I have to write a message to I get to write a message. From what a big challenge this is to what a big opportunity this is. With that simple shift, not only got easier, my message not only got better, but now I look forward to getting to write. Now it's a joy to be able to do this. I don't think it would be this way if I had not changed my mindset. I had conditioned myself, it's going to be hard. I don't like this. When we dread things, we're inviting the negative. We're giving permission for it to be harder, more stress, take longer. God has given you the grace for everything that you face, not to endure it, but to enjoy it, to be happy even in hard places. How much of your life are you enjoying, and how much are you enduring? Have you learned to be content? Are you happy where you are? Or are you letting the circumstances and people determine your happiness? Doing like I used to do, dreading things. I don't want to go to work today, and I don't want to have to deal with these children. I don't like having to take this treatment. That's making it harder. That's giving away your power. If you'll approach it with faith and with joy, knowing that you're well able, then you're going to have the strength that you didn't have, ability, favor, not just to excel, but to be happy where you are. It says in Ecclesiastes that you are to enjoy the fruit of your work. This is a gift that God has given you. You're not supposed to dread your work, dread cleaning your house, dread going to the grocery store, dread writing that proposal. There's grace for it. Quit telling yourself it's going to be hard. Quit planning on having a difficult day. Change your mindset. I'm grateful to get to go to work today. I'm blessed to be able to raise these children. God, I thank you for the strength to clean this house. Was a teenager engaged to Joseph. It was one of the best times of her life. She was planning her wedding, lining up the bridesmaid, picking out the flowers, the food, when an angel appeared and said she was highly favored. And she's going to have a baby without knowing a man, and he would be the Messiah. Mary was excited. She said, let it happen. But what she didn't know was all of her plans were about to be interrupted. When Joseph found out she was pregnant, he's going to call off the wedding and quietly walk away. An angel appeared to him and told him the baby was the Messiah to go through with it. Well, King Herod called a census. They had to travel to Bethlehem, to Joseph's hometown. Mary was 9 months pregnant, riding a donkey 80 miles, bouncing up and down. A difficult assignment. But you never read where Mary complained. You never read where she got upset. They arrived in Bethlehem looking for a place to have the baby, but no hotel available. They were turned down again and again. They found a stable where they kept animals. She gave birth to Jesus, our Savior. Well, a few months, they had to flee to Egypt. Another interruption, disappointment. Mary could have been discouraged. This is not what I had planned. God, where are you? Well, she was content at every stage, even things she didn't understand. She trusted in the difficult times. She was happy in the hard places. Not I'm going to be happy when I get off this lousy donkey. Get me an Escalade next time. I'm going to be happy when I have this baby. Happy when Herod quits chasing us. I'll be happy when these people quit gossiping, talking bad about me. She learned to be content in whatever state she was in. that's why God could trust her with something so important. God may have assigned you to a difficult task, something you didn't see coming, raising a difficult child or dealing with an illness, a tough season in your career. It's because He can trust you. He's counting on you to carry out His purpose so you can go where you've never been. Don't let the difficulty sour your life, take your passion. God won't put you somewhere without the grace to be there with a good attitude. You can be happy even in hard places. When you choose to be content, to stay full of joy, God breathes on your life and He'll make things happen that you couldn't make happen. Mary could have focused on the burdens and look at all these things coming against me, but she focused on the blessing, the promise God gave her. What you focus on in the hard seasons will determine whether you endure it or you enjoy it. God has not brought you this far to leave you. What's going to help you get through the tough seasons is the joy. That's what gives you the strength. I'm asking you to quit putting off your happiness. Quit waiting till the challenge is over, till you get married, you get the promotion, till you see the healing. How about being happy right where you are? How about being content in every season, whatever comes your way? Friends, life is short. Time is flying by. If you're going to be happy, you're going to have to do it on purpose, because there will always be something to take your joy. People, traffic, delays. Turn on the news, that'll depress you. You have to choose joy each morning. Choose to be content whatever comes your way. If you'll do this, I believe and declare, like Paul, you will flourish, you will excel, you will leave your mark. Favor is coming, healing, the right